Well, hello there. It's Dave, and welcome back to Cross Fitness, helping men and women get in the best spiritual shape of their lives one workout at a time. Quick thought in this video that I'm calling the formula to building trust. The formula to building trust. This is not original content. I got this. This falls into the category of too good not to share, and it comes from the Craig Rochelle Leadership Podcast, which, if you're a person of influence in any capacity and you want to improve your leadership capacity, may I encourage you to go wherever you get your podcast, download the Craig Rochelle Leadership Podcast. It's about 20 minutes, has a leader's guide, and you personally or your family or your team can benefit from this. It's absolutely fantastic. So, speaking at the Global Leadership Summit, Pastor Craig was the keynote, and he said, I want to give you a formula for building trust in your organizations and on your team. And here's it. I'll just cut to the chase. Here's the formula. Transparency plus empathy plus consistency equals trust. I'll say it again. Transparency plus empathy plus consistency equals trust. Break that down a little bit as he did. Transparency, number one, is the quality of just being vulnerable, just being honest, open, and transparent with people. You know what? They know your weaknesses anyway. But when you confess them, when you admit them, when you get out of the fake it till you make it mentality, then you build trust. Okay? People want to know that you're real. In fact, Craig Rochelle ends his podcast by saying people would rather follow someone who's always real than someone who's always right. When you're right, you get a winner and a loser. And sometimes you can be dead right. And people know that. So transparency goes a long, long way to confess that you're nervous, I don't know. I don't have all the answers. We're just going to have to navigate and negotiate through this one together as a team. That kind of thing. But transparency builds trust. The second part of the formula in the equation is empathy. And it was John Maxwell that said people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And Pastor Craig went a long way to make the point that people want to know that you give a rip. Okay? He has 40 network churches, 63 high-level leaders, and he says he systematically works his way through all of them with a one-on-one call. Maybe does a FaceTime, maybe does a Zoom, I don't know. But somehow he pulls it off, okay? And he says, look, I just talked to them. I said, he asks, how are you doing? How's your family doing? How's your marriage? Are you healthy? What are you excited about? What obstacles and struggles can we talk about here? And how can I come alongside of you and add value? And what am I not asking that you wish that I would? And things like that. In this season of life, what do you want or need, and how can I help you? These kinds of questions just boost and bolster and build empathy, that people know that you care. You're not just a guy or a gal making a widget. You're not just cranking out a to-do list, working a portfolio, and, never mind the mule, just load the wagon mentality, as some leaders have had in the past. But empathy, is so important. He went on to give the example of, you're talking to somebody and they say, hey, next Tuesday my son is having his tonsils out. Well, you know what? We live in the digital age where everyone who has a smartphone has the capacity and ability to have a photographic memory. If you just notice, if you just observe, if you just have your wits about you and are self-aware and listen to what people are saying, their son's having the tonsils out next Tuesday. Put it on your calendar. When next Tuesday rolls around, late in the afternoon, you can shoot them a text. Hey, how did Timmy do getting his tonsils out? And they'll never forget you for that. You see, people don't need you all the time, but when they need you, they need you. They need you at the funeral home, in the ICU, in the emergency room, on the wedding day of their daughter. People need you on those high-low moments. And if you can remember to be there, that's empathy, okay? So how do you build trust? Number one, transparency. You add to that in the formula, empathy. Number three, you add consistency. What is that? Well, that is, just continuing to be be steadfast, to be faithful. You know, you and I both probably work for somebody that you never know what you got from week to week, month, quarter to quarter. You know, they get away for a few days, it'd be an extended week, and they come back with a legal pad and say, all right, everybody, team, here we go. I'm going to change some things around here. And it ripples down to, oh, here we go again, you know? And they're just up and down. They're all over the place. They're sporadic, and, you know, and it doesn't foster foster trust, you know? It says, well, maybe it's a phase and they'll work out of it like they have over and over and over again. But if you're consistent, if you just continue to tell the truth, you continue to pay your bills, you continue to show up, you continue to bring a good, hard work ethic, well, you build trust because you're consistent. I had a volunteer secretary one time at a church. Her name was Julie, and I would delegate a task to her. And she said, Pastor David, you don't have to follow up with me. You don't have to ask me if I've done it. I want you to know, I want you to consider it done. And she consistently did it. And she was such a breath of fresh air, 5-star volunteer, you know. And it's people like Julie that just make the church world go forward and the kingdom of God expand. So what are we saying here? What is Pastor Craig saying? He's saying to build trust, there's a formula, there's an equation for that. It's transparency plus empathy plus consistency equals trust, you know. And so this works with parents and children. If you're consistently fair in your discipline and your consequences, if you do what you say you're going to do, then you'll build trust that what you say, you mean what you say and you say what you mean. So there you go. I hope that helps you. I know there's a lot of applications in the real world that we can apply this. Just remember, take with you into your next, you know, group dynamic, transparency and empathy and consistency, and see if that doesn't build some trust in your relationships. Okay, I hope that helps. For now, I'm David, your virtual mentor, reminding you that I'm always for you. I'm never against you. Blessings and favor, grace and peace. Take care.